We've gone over several versions of how we might approach this section, and I think we're going to give you the quick drive-by version. I'm going to assume that you're all relatively familiar with what discussion lists are and what you might want to do with them, so we're just going to kind of look at the bare bones basics of how the tool works. We'll go into much more detail on what you might want to do with them or change what you do with them in another workshop where we have more time to focus in on those details. So once more, we return to the content area and go into lesson 1. We'll check our drop down, and we don't see discussion list as one of the items that's on the quick shortcut list. So I will luck out though in that it will probably be in the first place that I look in the communications list. Discussions. Looks like we have a couple of them set up to start with. Shall we start with just the features one and show how we did that?
I'm thinking just to keep things consistent, if we just create one on the fly, and then we'll populate it and then go from there.
Okay. What I'm going to do then is just create one that's actually I misspelled it, so I'll spell it right when I create it, and that's how we'll work around it already existing. So what I want to do is create a new forum within the discussion list area, and luckily again they're fairly consistent with this big blue button. And of course, when I say blue, if anyone is working with a monochrome monitor or has an issue with color recognition, their scheme is basically darker and lighter shades of the same tone. So if you don't see it as blue, it's the biggest, darkest button. So I want a new forum. Forum being kind of the largest container that you would use in the discussion area. And I've already forgotten what we were going to call that. Discussion list features, something along that. Desire2Learn. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that all of the defaults are acceptable. I don't see anything objectionable there. I could just save it, but what I want to do is save it, and then I want a topic in there. Now there was a shortcut up here that would let me start it with a topic with the same name, but I actually want a different name if I remember right. I'm going to hit save. A discussion on topics. So that is going to be the title of this topic. And again, you could put in all the details and instructions in that if you wanted, but we're just going to do the bare bones. And these are the containers, if you will, for the posts that would be added. Now, if we were going to actually post into this discussion.
So this is how the students are seeing it anyway, and it's just a bunch of text that they have to click on.
And actually, in this version, I believe unless you change the default behavior, students do not have the ability to start a thread. So as the instructor, you either have to start each thread or you have to go in and fiddle with the settings to give them the ability to do it. So it's not at all convenient. It's not at all streamlined. It's just more programming for programmers or phone calls to Phil or Tamala.